I was honestly kind of scared. I didn't really want to reveal it, but this is essentially how I went from an insecure and addicted gamer to an SMMA owner making over 20 grand, which is why you guys are here as well, right? Maybe you guys aren't gamers, but you guys get the point, right? So I'm gonna break down everything on how I did it and the 3 main points on why you're probably not there, right? So if you're in this call right now, you're probably struggling from one of these 3 things. You're either not getting enough leads, not enough bookings, most of your leads are unqualified, or you're generally just getting started, right? It's one of those, right? Can you guys type 1 if this is one of your problems? Just type 1 in the chat if this is one of your problems. One of these right here. Not enough leads are unqualified, you're just getting started, and you don't have like a system to kind of guide you, basically. Okay, cool. So most of you are struggling with this. Good to know. So let's put it in theory. If you could just wave a magic wand, solve all of these problems, would you? Of course you would, right? And of course, what I'm gonna tell you is that this doc right here is gonna show you exactly how to do that. And although it might be a little bit long, it's not gonna be more than an hour long. And I guarantee you, I've broken down the last 3-4 years of my business skills and me running different businesses into one single doc. So that's what you're getting. 4 years of my experience in a single hour or less, right? So if you're not able to go through this entire webinar, then you're essentially fucked for life. And I will be completely honest, and that is the truth, okay? By the way, if you're not muted yet, could you please mute yourself? Just because I have like OCD and like those little noises like at the end are a little bit annoying. Thank you. Cool. And I do have a special bonus at the end, of course. So you will all gain quite a bit from this alone, okay? Whether you're just listening in or not, you will gain from this. I guarantee that. So my goal with this webinar, at the end of everything, after you watch this whole thing, you can ask questions at the end. We'll do a Q&A. So you will get one-on-one time with me as well, is for you to be able to scale your agency to 20K per month, okay? But for me to be able to do that, I have to take you guys on a 5-minute spread of my journey and how I did it, okay? So you guys can have a better understanding. Okay, so this is gonna be a little tough to reveal, but this is me back in 2020. And yes, you guys might be thinking like, why the fuck is this guy showing a picture of his body? But it all starts here because this is me. This is what I looked like in 2020. And as a title of this webinar, I was an insecure person and I was addicted to gaming, right? So back in 2020, I used to weigh 50 kilograms. I used to be insanely insecure and people would just laugh at me because of the way I looked. And I just didn't have a good time, okay? And obviously when you're insecure, when you're in a bad position, you want to change that, right? You want to have change. So during the period of 2020 and 2022, I started going to the gym as well as working on businesses. And I tried several businesses. I tried 7 different businesses, okay? They're all listed here. I'm not gonna go through them all, but they're all around the whole marketing, online world, online space. Dropshipping is in there, different programs, different things around the social media world. They're all in there. I've tried so much stuff. And some of these businesses failed. Some of them worked out. What you guys have to understand is that not every business that you start will work out. You can't expect to just start dropshipping, to start an agency and for it to just work straight away, right? It might fail. You might need to change. You might need to adapt. This was a 4-year journey for me in order to make it work and in order to be able to scale my agency past 20K, okay? So I don't want you guys to think like, oh, here's another person on the internet trying to teach me how to get rich quick. No, right? I'm actually gonna show you what I went through. So most of you guys already know 90% of businesses fail, right? That's 1 in 10 that succeed. So you guys have to keep this in mind and really think like, hey, I cannot give up. I need to be able to push through my failures and everything like that until it works, okay? And that's essentially what I had to do. But eventually it'll pay off, trust me, okay? So most of you guys know who these people are, right? Type a 1 in chat if you know who any of these 4 people are here. If you've seen them on YouTube, if you know about them, anything like that. Joel, okay. Charlie, there you go. Awesome. So yeah, so this is Joel, this is Charlie. They make around $1 million a month. This is Dan, the marketing man, and this is Thomas. So these are some of my mentors and my friends, which I was able to connect with. And I was able to connect with them because I was able to build something to where they recognized it and they reached out to me or I reached out to them, right? And yeah, they were some of my mentors, some of my friends that really, really helped me out in the world. And I think that this is probably one of the most important things that helped me scale. It was really being able to consume knowledge from people who had decades of experience, okay? Joel and Charlie have been in this game for almost a decade now, right? Thomas and Dan are a little bit newer, but if you're able to consume all that knowledge, bro, you're game, you know? So that's essentially what I was able to do. I was able to consume a lot of knowledge from a lot of people and learn it super quickly. So strong network, guaranteed success. Having multiple coaches or multiple friends having multiple coaches or having multiple friends with a high net worth is also going to guarantee you success, right? So me being able to understand this, I was able to connect with these people as quick as possible. I knew this was my key and I knew this is what I had to do, right? And that's why most of my programs will always include 6 or 7 figure coaches helping you, okay? And this is also the time where my business started making money, right? My first ever agency, my first 10K month. So this first 10K month was essentially, we had 10 days left for the end of the year. So it was the 21st or 22nd of December. And I told one of my friends, Gautam, I said, hey Gautam, look, if we make 10K in the next 10 days, we'll go out on a trip. And when I tell you, I've never worked so hard in my life from this time, and we were able to do it. We were able to, can you guys please not do annotations? Thanks. We were able to make 10K in 10 days, right? He wasn't a part of my agency, but we just did a challenge together and then we went on a trip, right? And this is the part where I started going on trips. And I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or not, but you guys know that I like to travel a lot. And when you first start making money for the first time, you're like, oh shit, now I have money. Like, let me go out and do stuff. The problem with that is complacency, right? You become comfortable with where you're at. So a valuable lesson for you guys is once you guys start making money, because what I'm about to give you inside of this doc will make you money. And once you start making money, don't let it catch up to you, okay? And what I mean by that is almost everyone who starts making money, unless they're responsible, hit ground zero, right? This was my ground zero. -€5 on my account. I don't even know how I have -5. Like, I don't even know how we went negative, right? But we were negative. And at this point, I was like, oh shit, I had a realization that I was not doing things right. So at this point, I had to pay people. I had to pay employees within 7 days. And I was like, oh shit, I have no money. What am I going to do now, right? And the beauty of an SMMA is that it teaches you all the skills you need for business. It teaches you marketing. It teaches you sales. It teaches you operations. It teaches you client management and a lot more. So if you're able to learn those skills, nothing is going to be able to stop you. And that's exactly what happened to me. Even though I hit ground zero, whether you guys are starting from zero, I went to zero, right? So I know where you guys are feeling. You guys are absolutely zero. How do I get started, etc., right? If you're able to develop these skills, you have everything. You're able to sell anything, right? So I put my head down. I knew I had those skills and I locked in for a few months. And that's all you guys have to do is literally just lock in. Say no. Just stop going out. Stop meeting with your friends. Just literally just put your head down and just work. Even if you have nothing to do, even if you have no work, just stay inside and do just work. That's all you have to do. Because when you're putting in the sacrifice and you're fully focused and you have no distractions, the rewards start coming, right? So at this point, once I locked in, we started hitting 40K months with the agency, right? We even had a record day of 11K in a day, right? And this is euros, by the way. So it's around 40K, and that was in cash collected. We did a little bit more in revenue, but I know you guys don't really care to see that. So now it's 2024. I'm back to making money. I've built up some weight on myself. I'm feeling a lot more confident. This is me a couple months ago. Agency's doing good. You know, so that's really the lesson, right? So that's my story. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to this because I know a lot of you guys are starting from zero, or, you know, you've suffered from some sort of insecurity, or you want to make serious money and help out your family, your friends. You just want to be successful, right? And I know exactly how you feel. So that's why I've made this doc, right? So now we're gonna go over some real core value, and I'm gonna give away a ton of different spreadsheets, docs, and just free assets to help you guys with the main problems, right? So for the ones that are not getting enough leads and bookings, right? Actually, let's backtrack that a bit. If you don't have an agency, Screw the name, screw everything. All you need is a niche and an offer, okay? Those are the two things that you need, right? Once you figure those out, you need to make sure you have a pretty decent niche, and you need to make sure that your offer is good. If your offer is not good, then everything else doesn't work, right? You need to be able to have a very, very strong foundation, which is those two. Once you have those, you need to be able to implement a system that helps you get there, right? If you don't have a whole system and a step-by-step plan, then you're never going to get to your goal, right? Because you can say, hey, I want to make 10K, I want to make 20K. How are you going to make 10K? How are you going to get to 20K? If you don't have a plan, and by a plan, I don't mean like send outreach, right? It's a little bit different. So what we've created is a specific system to kind of help you through this. So this is what I call an all-in-one system. And I don't want to get too much into detail because it's a little bit more advanced, and a lot of you guys said that you're just starting out. But essentially, this is what a normal agency looks like. They run paid ads or any other type of acquisition system onto a booking page where there's VSLs, there's testimonials, and then they go onto the sales call and they close the call, right? This doesn't really work anymore. People have lost trust and they need to start a new system. So this is a new system that we've implemented, which is you run paid ads or any other type of acquisition system onto lead magnets, right? So these paid ads ones here are lead magnets where you're giving something for free, just like I'm giving something for free right here, right? I'm gonna send you guys all these docs and everything like that. So basically I'm giving everything for free, and this will lead onto an ecosystem, right? So if you guys get emails from me, or if you guys see my YouTube videos, or if you guys get DMs, or if you're in my community, you're inside of my ecosystem, right? And you essentially own the attention. You can continuously sell to them, get to them, market to them, etc. So this is what you have to be able to create. And this is where your team or yourself will reach out to them via emails, SMS, etc., and then qualify them and then go through the normal process. And this means that people have already gotten your value, they've already trust you, and they've most likely already consumed a lot of content of yours. Does this make sense, guys? Can you guys just type 1 if the new system kind of makes more sense in terms of being able to close people better? Awesome. I see a lot of ones, but I actually want you guys to be able to implement this, okay? I'm not just showing this to show. This is the new method. If you really look at the whole community, people are giving everything for free, and they're not giving it away for free out of the kindness of their heart, right? Deep down, they will sell you on something, but it's easier to sell someone once they trust you, right? You guys probably trust me to some level because you've consumed content, you've opted into this webinar, obviously, right? And this is my first webinar, by the way, guys. Yeah, we'll probably make a couple of them for free, but later on we'll definitely be charging for them once I get everything pretty much down. So this is pretty much what you guys have to be able to create, a whole roadmap of what your client is going to be able to go through, right? And once you have this, you know the process, and then you can move on to the next step, which is what we call a client scenario process. This is inspired by Surge, and essentially what this is, it's a client failure scenario process. I guess you could call it that, right? By the way, once I give you guys access to everything, you can just duplicate it or make copies, and then you can access them. So that's how you access them. But essentially, here you write the scenario. So what you're struggling with, right? I'm not getting enough bookings. I'm not getting qualified people, right? And here you write the mechanism to avoid that failure, right? So how can I increase my show up rate? I'll fix my booking sales process plus add more follow-ups, for example, right? How can I increase my leverage, and how can I do more outreach to people? Hiring more VAs, doing it with more accounts, right? And then you write the delivery process. So the delivery process as well as other things. So can we not annotate, guys, please? So yeah, essentially the impact, the responsibility, and the priority. And this will kind of help you. All right, guys, let's, I'm gonna have to remove you guys that are doing drawings. Okay. So yeah, this is basically what you have to create in order to organize yourself in terms of what your problems are. And you only should focus on the main problems where you are missing out on money. So if there is a process where you're struggling or you're not getting enough appointments, you need to focus on the thing that moves the needle, the thing that makes you the money. You need money coming in right now. That's the only thing you need to focus on. And once you focus on that, and money starts coming in, you can fix all the other problems easily, right? You need more support, you can hire more support because you have more money. You need to scale, you pretty much have more money, you can invest into scaling, right? How much do I need to invest into my agency? So that question is very relative into what you have to invest, right? I decided to invest in my own growth. I decided to invest into coaches and mentors because I thought that was very important for me. I thought that if I could develop my skills super quick, if I could consume the knowledge that took them years and years to learn, and I could consume that in a very, very short amount of time, then I would be ahead of everybody else. So that's what I decided to do, right? So it's up to you. You don't necessarily need money to start. It's very hard to start without money. I started with some money. So yeah, that's my 5 cents on it. So next up, systems builds. What if I don't have $0 in my bank and tips? Bro, there's enough knowledge out there for you to be able to get started. It's just going to be slower. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the speed. You're paying for skipping all the mistakes that person went through. That's what you're paying for, essentially, right? What type of agency do I have? So we help weight loss clinics in the US get more patients. That's what we do. So system builds. You guys need to be able to build systems. And I don't mean like super intricate systems or anything like that. I'll show you guys a couple examples. But if you guys are able to build systems, then you guys are able to do the following. You guys are able to optimize tracking, numbers, forecast, sales processes, and service delivery. So if you're able to know, okay, Arturo, if I know that I get 2 clients from every 10 sales calls that I have, then, I'm going to want this many sales calls per month in order to achieve my goal. Do you guys kind of get what I mean? So you guys kind of reverse psychology it and like reverse engineer the whole thing, into being able to hit your goals. And that's exactly what I did, right? So here we have some examples of some systems that we have built. For example, how to send thousands of DMs, thousands of SMS, AI cold calling system, improving show rate, et cetera, right? So you can build these systems super easily, or you can just buy them from somebody else or learn them somewhere else. It doesn't matter. The idea is once you master a system, once you know that you have a script that works, once you know that you have good leads, just automate and scale it, right? I didn't start at 1,500 DMs per day. I probably started at like 20 DMs per day, like most of you guys. The only thing is once I figured out that it works, I scaled it. I started hiring people to take over. I started implementing different types of systems where I could automate it, right? And I have a couple more examples here on the things that you guys can work on, right? So for example, I have a VA placement agency, a whole diagram of it, which you guys can access. But this is essentially a whole B2B and B2C guide on how to do it, right? Including DMs. And this is something that I built, but I never ended up actually executing because I didn't have enough time to actually pursue this agency because I have my own. So, it didn't make sense to have 2. Might as well scale one and then start another later on. So if you guys want to literally steal that agency, you're more than welcome to. I also have my own personal branding strategy here. So literally how I scaled my personal brand with more funnels and all of that, right? Which is a very, very famous personal branding strategy, except I've actually proven that it works because I've done it myself and I've done all of these strategies as well. So I know that they work, right? Now there's 2 main things that you guys need to focus on. It's intensity and extensity, right? I wrote it wrong here or just a different way, but essentially what you're wanting to do is try and do as much as possible for as long as possible and keep the quality there. There's no point in you doing 2,000 DMs a day if no one's booking in a call, right? So you start small, you verify that it works, and then you scale it up. That's exactly how you should be doing it. Cool. So hiring talent, which is also part of like automating everything, right? You guys can get really cheap talent that is going to be the key to your growth, literally, right? If you're on a low budget, you're hiring cheap talent and training them, right? That's the sacrifice. You either pay high and pay for somebody that's well-trained and ready to go, or you pay someone less who isn't trained and is willing to be trained, and therefore you train them, right? So for example, this person here, which worked for one of our clients, was sending 600 DMs a day through multiple accounts and was able to book 4 calls a day, right? So that's just one example. Imagine being able to just pay someone to handle everything for you. You know what I mean? So if they were able to send 600 DMs per day using one virtual assistant, right? If they got 33% replies and 3% of them were positive, booking him 3 to 5 sales calls every single day, if that VA was working 24 days a month, he would have booked 100 calls every month, basically. Give me a sec, guys. Okay. So if he had 65% show rate on his calls and 18% close rate, closing at $2,000 per month per client, which is super conservative. This is super realistic numbers, guys. This is literally the numbers that you're looking at right now on the screen. This literally results in $24,000 in MRR in 30 days. And if you're paying that virtual assistant $3 an hour over 24 days on full time, that's $576 per month that you're paying. So essentially, this client of ours paid $576 to generate $24,000 in income, okay? So this is a form of leverage that I want you guys to understand, right? So if you refine it and you scale it, it works, okay? This doesn't mean like go ahead and send as many DMs as possible, right? Send quality things, okay? So next up is media buyers, right? I've left a couple of examples here on how I qualify and how I hire media buyers. Guys, I'm gonna have to remove you if you're adding drawings. So yeah, basically, if you're able to do this method, which I show you guys how to do it in mass on this video and on this Loom here, then you're able to hire as many media buyers as you want and you're able to leverage their results. So I'm guessing that most of you guys are just starting out. So type 1 if you don't have results yet. If you don't have results that you're able to show to your clients, type 1 in chat right now. Everybody has results for their clients? Okay, there you go. Okay, so if you typed 1 and you don't have results to show to your clients, all you have to do is hire a media buyer. And this doesn't mean you have to pay them. Here's what I did when I got started. I said, okay, how am I gonna prove to a business that I have results, right? I don't wanna lie because that's unethical, okay? So don't lie, don't make fake results, don't do any of that. Be ethical, okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you hire a media buyer and set an agreement with him and you say, hey, media buyer, I'm gonna use your testimonials and your results as proof that we can deliver. And when I get a client, I'll pay you. Boom, simple. Now you have results. Now you have testimonials, right? Super simple. That's exactly what I did. One media buyer will agree to this because they have no work. They're just sending you testimonials. And once you close that client using that testimonial, then you go ahead and work with them, right? Simple, but make sure you actually do work with them. You want to make sure that you guys are ethical while you do all of this, okay? And last but not least, how to qualify leads, right? So these are just a couple of systems. This is with inspiration of Ravi Abuvala, but trust me, this system will absolutely shock you guys. When I first found out about this, I was like, holy shit, okay? Just so I can get a better understanding, can you explain media buyers again? Media buyers essentially are people who will do your ads for you, right? So you're essentially getting a client and you're gonna do their ads for them to help them get more clients. A media buyer just does that for you, basically, right? And if you can get results, then you can show your client, hey, I have results. I can make this work. And then you can close them with ease, okay? So that's kind of the idea. How many of you guys are already doing some sort of outreach but aren't getting qualified people, right? Let me know in the chat if you are not getting qualified people or if you struggle from getting qualified people to book calls with you. Is that your main issue? Yes? Okay, got it. This is literally gonna solve it for you. I guarantee it, okay? So this is what we call an appointment scoring system, okay? So essentially what we do is we rank people based on logical qualification, okay? So you can do this however you want. This is just how we decided to do it, right? So we target clinic owners. So if they're just getting set up, they're not very qualified. If they're not doing telemedicine, they're okay. And if they are doing telemedicine, then they're very qualified. Boom, easy, right? Same with revenue. The more revenue they make, the more qualified they are. And then you just add a number, okay? So now we have a scoring system. Now we know what to rank them, okay? So where do we go from here? Because this doesn't help us too much, right? So what we do is we use a software called High Level. How many of you guys are already using High Level? Let me know in the chat. No, yes, okay. A good amount of you guys are using High Level. That's good, that's good. If you're not using High Level just yet, then I will leave you an extended trial in the chat. Essentially, this is the only software that I use. So I have a 30-day extended trial for you guys to use. If you don't have it yet, and if you were maybe thinking about it, then you can go ahead and get it there for an extended period of time, okay? So high level is what I use to create the system. Essentially what this system does, it is automatically disqualifies people who aren't qualified. That's the first thing it does, okay? So you don't have to worry about taking calls with unqualified people. The second thing it does is it adds a little number, 2, 3, 4. One is unqualified, so they don't get to schedule a call. But anything else, 2, 3, 4, they get added a little number next to their name, okay? So every time they schedule a call in the calendar, in my calendar, it'll show, hey, Arturo-4, that's the lead quality, okay? And it is super important that you know exactly the quality of leads that you're getting, okay? So once you actually make the scoring system, you can create this system. I'll leave a snapshot to the system inside my community. I'll tell you guys how to access it later. I'll leave a snapshot of this so you guys can just automatically import it and you don't have to do a thing, okay? But literally this does all of the work for you. And then what you do is you use Zapier to connect it, okay? So using High Level and Zapier, basically we connect it to the Google Calendar and then we change the name of the person, okay? So here you can see my little test, -3, right? So here we change the name and we know, okay, I have a full day of quality 2 or I have a full day of quality 3, right? And this is where you can really, really start scaling. Because if you have good quality leads, then you can increase all your budgets. If you have low quality leads, then you need to work on improving your quality of leads, okay? So that's essentially what you guys have to do in order to get qualified leads, is this appointment booking scoring system, okay? So let me know if you guys understood this last part here. Just type 1 if you found it useful or if it makes sense to you on how to implement it. Perfect. Awesome, guys. So just to kind of recap, through this entire doc, I've obviously shown you guys my story and you know how that kind of works, how to get more leads and more bookings, how to get qualified ones, and how to create an all-in-one system so you can actually scale, right? Traditional SMMA doesn't work anymore. You guys need to be able to construct an all-in-one system in order for you guys to scale, okay? So I will share the doc in just a second at the end of the webinar, okay? Just after we do the Q&A, right? But yeah, you guys can access everything in this doc for free, right? So now, obviously, if you guys haven't learned yet, people are giving away stuff for free in order to sell you in the back, right? Which is exactly what I'm gonna do, right? Because at the end of the day, if you haven't heard my story, first you're the student and then you're the teacher, right? And if I told you how many students make more money than me, you guys would be surprised, right? So yeah, I don't know who's editing this doc here, but please don't. Okay, awesome. So coaching is one of the best forms, as you guys know, right? And right now, I'm doing probably the most insane offer you've seen out there, right? You've probably seen coaching programs for like $1,000, $2,000, whatever, right? These coaching programs that charge you thousands and thousands and thousands literally have less calls than me. I'm doing 10 weekly calls every single week. That's 3,600 coaching calls a year, okay? And these aren't like random coaches, all right? These are coaches that are doing 20, 50, even 100K per month. Yes, we have those people in there. And you won't believe, you'll actually laugh when I tell you how much I'm gonna give you guys on this webinar. You're actually gonna think it's ridiculous and you might not even believe me, okay? So yeah, these are the coaches and these are the calls that we currently have every single week. 3,600 calls a year, okay? And yes, most of these are me. So you will get coached by me alongside other coaches, okay? So if you wanna reach 6 or 7 figures, don't you want to learn from coaches doing 6 or 7 figures, right? I mean, who do you want to learn from? A random person on YouTube that could be lying, or people who are showing you real solid proof of them doing it, teaching you on live calls? This is the main problem. If you just buy a course, or if you just watch videos on YouTube, you're not going to be able to have a coach helping you solve your real problems, right? Once you have a problem with tax, once you have a problem with opening a bank account, once you have a problem with scaling a specific ad, who's going to help you with that, right? It's these coaches. Those are the ones who are going to help you with that, right? So what are we going to offer you guys? Live events. Look at these events that we have done. with 6 and 7 figure agency owners all around the world. We're talking Spain, Bali. I think we did a couple in Spain actually. But yeah, here are some pictures of the event, including our good friend Thomas Garnett, which was shown earlier, right? So you guys can actually participate in these events, meet tons of different agency owners, right? So what is the cost of not taking action and an advantage of today's offer? So since people love this webinar so much, I decided to make a 24-hour offer. And here's what it includes. So one-on-one live coaching calls with me. Yes, I will literally do live coaching calls one-on-one for the next people joining in the next 24 hours. Live events where you can fly out and you'll get VIP tickets, a free 48-hour money-back guarantee, exclusive VIP access to 7-figure coaches, as we spoke about earlier, a full agency created for you, a free high-level account with all of my personal templates, and access to all my systems and all my templates for a total value of over $23,000, which you can get for $49. Yes, I know, crazy value. 98% discount from what it actually costs to get all of this. Now, things you could do instead of leveraging this offer, right? You can go ahead and buy other courses and simply buy information, sell information, and spend time doing outreach yourself. You can try doing it alone and miss out on an average of $200K of unearned revenue, right? You can hire other agencies, which will charge you ridiculous prices, and you won't even own your own assets in the long run. You'll have a very, very low quality environment because you're not in the correct environment with the correct people. And your goal and your dream will become your sacrifice, right? Whether how big or how small that goal is. And of course, last but not least, your time, which is your most valuable asset. 28,835 days on average on this planet that you have. You do not have that much time left. And do you really want to spend majority of your time doing low leverage tasks such as outreach? Or do you want to simply have a plug and play system that works? Regardless of how much work we put into helping you build the correct infrastructures in the next 90 days, our focus is that you simply acquire one client. One client, and you will be profitable after this investment. Isn't that absolutely crazy? Again, this offer will only be available for today, so make sure you click the first link in the description if you want to claim that bonus one-on-one with me for only $49 a month, which you get access to multiple calls every single week with 7-figure, 6-figure agency owners, plus absolutely everything listed here. So if you want to take advantage of that today, make sure to get the first link in the description. And if you want access to this entire document for free, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram, the keyword on the screen, and I will automatically send it to you.